Today, we're diving into a massive shift in the world of work. How human resources went from being the department of paperwork and policies to a strategic powerhouse focused on one thing, people's well-being. So how on earth did we get here? Let's get into it.
All right, so to really understand where we are now, we've got to rewind the clock. For a long time, HR wasn't exactly the strategic partner it is today. In fact, it was, well, pretty much the opposite.
Wow, right? This quote from the 70s just perfectly captures the old stereotype. Back then, the personnel department was seen as a purely administrative, almost robotic function. Their job was to manage the mechanics, think payroll, paperwork, filing cabinets, not to actually shape the culture or develop the people.
And you can see that whole story unfold right here. The 70s and 80s, all about administration. But then in the 90s, something started to change. With the rise of the knowledge economy, companies realized their biggest asset wasn't their machines, it was the brains of their people. So personnel became human resources. But the real leap has happened more recently, with HR finally getting a seat at the big table, becoming a strategic partner that links people's strategy directly to how the business wins.
So what was the Big Bang? What just slammed the accelerator on this transformation and pushed employee well-being from a nice-to-have to a must-have? Well, you already know the answer: a global crisis.
I mean, just think about that for a second. The COVID-19 pandemic posed this exact, completely unprecedented question. All of a sudden, for millions of us, the office just disappeared. It forced this dramatic, immediate scramble to figure out how, where, and even when we work. And in that moment of absolute chaos, guess who stepped up to the plate? The Chief Human Resources Officer. The CHRO suddenly became the most important person in the room, leading this monumental charge to get entire companies online, keep people productive, and, most importantly, support them through a time of incredible uncertainty. They literally became the organization's change champion.
The pandemic was what you might call an event of creative destruction. It was a crisis that blew up the old ways of doing things and cleared the path for innovation. Companies were forced to ditch their baggage. For the very first time, employee health wasn't a side issue, it was a core business metric. And the goal shifted from just being efficient to being resilient, flexible, and able to adapt to anything.
And in this brand new world, employee well-being wasn't some soft, fluffy benefit anymore. Nope. It became a hard metric, a crucial indicator of whether a company was actually healthy or not.
Now get ready for this number, because the scale of the problem is just staggering. 76% of employees report feeling burned out at work. This isn't just a few people having a bad week. It is a systemic issue hitting the vast majority of our workforce. And the pressure isn't just mental. 51% of workers around the globe are genuinely worried about their financial future. This just adds another huge layer of stress, and it proves that you have to tackle well-being from all angles: mental, physical, and financial.
So this crisis basically forced a total rethink of what it means to compensate an employee. It led to this idea of a total rewards framework. This model recognizes that, hey, a paycheck is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. It's about the entire employee experience, from benefits and career opportunities to feeling recognized and having a decent work-life balance.
And we're seeing this play out in the real world with huge companies like KPMG US. They didn't just give out raises, they did a fundamental overhaul of their benefits package to address total well-being. They cut healthcare costs, they added leave for caregivers, they expanded parental leave. These are all moves designed to support the whole person, not just the employee.
So everything we've talked about is pointing toward a new model for what a successful company looks like. It's one built not just on profit, but on its people. So welcome to the era of the healthy organization.
And this isn't just some vague, feel-good concept, it's a real framework. The key insight here is that these 6 pillars are all connected. You can't really support someone's mental health if you're ignoring their financial stress, right? And you can't build a healthy culture if the workplace doesn't feel safe. They all prop each other up.
And if you want to see this in action, just look at the telecom company 3 UK. They did simple things like offering free flu jabs, which cut sick days by a quarter. They started meeting-free Wednesdays to help with work-life balance. And the result? Their ENPS score, that's a key measure of employee loyalty, shot up. It's clear proof that when you invest in well-being, you get a real, tangible return.
So, this intense focus on the human side of business isn't just a temporary trend. No way. It is fundamentally reshaping what it means to be a leader, what HR does, and what the workplace of the future is going to look like.
This image just perfectly captures the kind of shift that's needed. We're moving away from the old-school manager who just focuses on tasks and processes. The future is about leaders who empower people. The best leaders today, they inspire, they empathize, and they build teams that actually want to work together. This isn't a soft skill anymore. It's a hardcore strategy for keeping your best people.
So, looking down the road, HR's role is only going to get more strategic. It's going to be about growing a new generation of these human-centric leaders. It'll mean using data not just to look backward, but to predict what the company will need in the future. And its focus is going to get wider, looking out for everyone involved, not just shareholders, with diversity and inclusion being baked into the very DNA of the business.
And all of this leaves us with one final pretty big question to chew on. As that line between our work lives and our home lives gets blurrier and blurrier, who's ultimately responsible for our well-being? Is it our own personal job, or is it now a core function of our employer? The answer to that is going to shape everything about the future of work.